All right, what's up, everybody? This is Rob Barrington here with my good buddy Gavin Wolpert for our Wednesday morning tournament. This is what we're going to call this event. It's the Wednesday morning tournament on YouTube. And what we're going to do is play an instant tournament. And as we're going about this, we are going to be sending you some questions about what to bid and maybe what to play if we can while we're getting through this tournament. Gavin, on your side, first of all, good morning. Thank you for joining us. I know it was a little hectic getting in today, but now we're here and live. Talk to me about what's going on your end, buddy. Gavin, are you there? Oh, Gavin.
One second. Sorry, I'm having a small problem.
Issue. No worries. No worries.
Yeah. One second. Sorry, I'm having a small problem.
And Gavin, turn your volume down on the YouTube browser. You don't want any of that stuff. Also, folks, you will be able to chat with us throughout this entire lesson. So just open up your chat window if you don't already. You can chat traditionally or you can super chat. Super chat is a way to tip your instructors if you're so inclined. So feel free to do that. That's that dollar symbol in your chat box. And we'll wait for Gavin to kind of set up his stuff before we start. What you're looking at is a picture of both of us and also the home screen of BridgeBase. This is the screen you'll get as soon as you log into BridgeBase, and what we're going to do is play an instant tournament, which honestly are great ways to practice your chops and see a bunch of hands, because not only are you playing bridge for 8 to 12 boards, depending on what you choose, you're going to be able to get a result afterwards and kind of walk through your result, see what you did and see what the other people did. So if you don't have a partner to play with and you just want to cycle through some hands, these are awesome ways to do that. And even some of them provide ACBL master points as well. So really cool ways to jump in and get some experience right away. How you doing over there, Gavin?
I think I figured out my problem. I could not get my YouTube open to mute it, and now I'm pretty good.
All right, it's good. Sounds better too.
Hello, everybody. Sorry about that.
Conversation again.
I'm sure a bunch of you at home are looking, like if these young guys are having this many problems with the computer, how am I supposed to survive?
Right. How am I supposed to log into these crazy classes? All right, so now that we are ready, first of all, sorry, let me jump into bidbox here. We're going to use bidbox again for as long as we can. Sometimes if we get a huge number of people, we may not be able to have a super fast connection, but we'll see. We're going to try to break this sucker, right? That's the whole point. Get as many people on it as possible and see how far we can go with it. So if you want to make your bids along with us during this tournament, you're just going to type in bidbox.xyz into your browser, and you will get a choice when we want you to have one during this session. So go ahead and start doing that. And as you guys are logging into that, I'm going to log us into an instant tournament. What do you think, Gavin? Match points or imps today?
I think we all played match points a lot more than we do imps. I think match points is a good way to go. Everybody needs their practice for when they get back to club bridge, and understanding match point strategies. They're two very different strategies, but I think that the more match points we do, the better it is for everybody.
I totally agree. And also, I always say this to my students, match points is the version you're going to be playing the most often, because that's essentially every club game in existence is a match point game. So it's a very good way to just practice your chops in that realm. So we're going to jump in to an instant tournament. And
before we even start, why don't we just take a second to explain match points for some players who kind of go to the club and don't really know what's going on.
That's perfect.
When you're playing match points, you're compared against every other table in the room, and you get 1 point for everybody you beat and a half a point for everybody you tie. So basically the difference between getting plus 140 and plus 110 is just as important as the difference between 620 and plus 110. So it's not as important we get to aggressive games. It's because the difference in score, the game bonus isn't really there. The only time we need to bid game is when everybody else is going to be in game. But match points places a much bigger emphasis on taking your tricks than it does about bidding games and or slams.
And just in general, the way I like to put it is match points is about precision. right? You want to try to be as precise as you possibly can in your auctions and the levels you get to and in your trick taking. And certain times it might be beneficial to go for an over trick where you might never consider it in a different format. Whereas imps is about risk reward a lot more. Right. It's about kind of not worrying about going down in a game if it's stretchy because the reward is so much higher. And we we start with a very interesting hand. Now we see that on board one our partner has passed, and we're always sitting south in these situations, folks, and that's where you always will be as well if you enter one of these. So our right hand opponent opens a strong no trump 15 to 17, and we have this hand. Now we have to discuss what we're playing here. And essentially, we are a slave to the robot system when you play these things. And the robot plays something called Capoletti in this spot over one no trump. Why don't we talk about that, Gavin? And also, I'm interested to hear what your preferred method is here. I know some of you might not be playing anything, and you don't have to, but there are a ton of different systems over one no trump that you can decide to put into your card to describe different sorts of hands when you're in this position. So Gavin, take over here.
Oh, I mean, I don't have a strong preference about what you're supposed to play over one no trump, but I do know that playing something is worthwhile. That when your opponent opens a no trump, uh, they've taken away our room to bid at the one level. So anytime we have a two suited hand, like we have, let's say we have spades and hearts or spades and diamonds, if we were able to bid at the one level, we could overcall a spade and then we could bid our diamonds, or if we could overcall a spade and then we could bid two hearts, or maybe we could bid Michaels. The problem here is that we're refined. We have no choice but to bid at the two levels. So if we're 5-5 and you don't play any system, you're going to be left just basically guessing which suit to overcall or bidding the higher one or something. You're kind of left awkwardly hoping you hit partner with their preference between your two suits. So it was discovered pretty early, a long time ago that hey, it might be worthwhile not to just play natural overcalls. There maybe we can make up a system that would leave us the ability to overcall when we have our own one long suit, but also have the ability to maybe get both of our suits in at the same time. And there's lots of different systems to play. The most popular ones are probably Capoletti, which the robots play, and don't, which is they're both, all systems have advantages. The important thing is that you've talked it through with your partner. I like to play a version of Capoletti where two clubs shows both majors, and which is just flipping two clubs and two diamonds for those of you that know Capoletti. But two clubs to say I have both hearts and spades. And the reason for that is when you have the majors, that's the most important time to come into the bidding.
For sure.
And by playing two clubs showing the majors, we can do it with 5-4 in the majors and leave partner room to say, I don't have a preference, which major? Why don't you bid your longer one? So that's why I like to play a system that involves two clubs for the majors. But in this case, the robot plays that two diamonds would show the majors, which means that partner with equal length would have to bid.
And let's this is a good spot here for a question. So let's ask a question, and let me give you what the system is, folks, because I know some of you just don't play Capoletti. So let's start with what double would be in this system. Double would be penalty in nature, right? It would show at least as good, but usually a better hand than what the no trump opener has started with here. Two clubs would be one long suit in this system. Two diamonds would be the majors. Two hearts would be hearts and a minor, and two spades would be spades and a minor. So those are all of your options here. Let's poll the audience now. Jump into bidbox.xyz. I see quite a few of you are already in there, and we'll give you guys a second and I'll pop it into the chat. Type this into your browser and make your bid on this hand, and then we'll see what Gavin and I would do right afterwards. We already have about 10 or so bids in here.
If it makes anybody, while you're thinking about what bid to make and feel any better, I have no idea what to bid on this hand.
Well, I think I would be choosing between two things, and I don't like either one of them. Just for you're kind of guessing as to what is the right action here, because I mean, I guess there are three things you could do, really.
Yeah, there's three kind of in Capoletti. I feel like we're just we can give people little hints that the three main choices are: you could double for penalties.
Yep.
You could bid two clubs showing a one suited hand,
which would be diamonds here.
Not pretending, just saying I have diamonds. or you could bid 2 spades to say I have spades and a minor. Those would be your 3 main choices with capital Eddie. Now I'll leave you to finish your voting.
Right,
That
exactly.
way, anybody who picked
I
some other bid in there, just quickly change it if you
yeah.
can.
This is not a common situation. When your right hand opponent opens a no trump, or honestly, when anyone at the table opens a no trump, you're not expecting a hand this big to be in another spot. Basically, it just seems unlikely. We have a whole bunch of different ideas. We have, I would say, most of the crowd here, and I will try to get us a window here that you guys can see this in a second, but I might need to wait till next hand. I have, looks like a third of the folks bidding 2 clubs, which is our single suited hand. We have a third of the folks bidding 2 spades. We only have 1 player doubling at the moment. Folks, when I release this question here for you, which I'm going to do on my phone in a second, I don't want you to worry about what it says the correct answer is. This just has random correct bids in, so I'm going to show you guys the results. And there we go. We have a third of the people bidding clubs, some people bidding spades, 1 person doubling, and the rest doing different things here. So Gavin, what are you
I
leaning
just want,
towards here?
first of all, want to respond to the question in the chat. Eva, you've
Mm.
said that you thought Capiletti promises 5 of a major. You really want to have a 5-card major to overcall 2 of a major, because what's going to happen, 2 of a major showing a major and a minor. What's going to happen is if partners got 2 spades and 2 of one of the minors, they're not going to check for the minor. They're going to leave us in spades, because spades is a level lower. The only way that they'll ever check for the minor over 2 spades is when they're clearly improving the contract. So yes, you want to have 5 spades, but you can't. The game's not a perfect science. I don't like rules of like that say promises. Promises is a little too extreme. You want to have 5 spades for sure to overcall 2 spades. I think all 3 of these bids have their merits, and all 3 of these bids could be right on any given day. If partner has spades, we are going to make a ton of tricks in spades. So I think that the greediness of me is leaning me towards overcalling 2 spades to show spades in a minor, just because even if partner only has 2 spades or 3 spades, I still might be able to be able to survive by taking my ace, king, ace in the red suits, and maybe trumping a diamond in dummy,
Or
and then
trumping
maybe
clubs in
putting
your
a
hand if
club
you have
back in my
entries.
hand.
Yeah.
I think I might be able to elope with some number of tricks that it isn't consistent with me, even if I'm in a 4-2 fit. So I think I'm leaning in that direction.
What would your second choice be?
I think I would go single suitor. I don't like defending when a trump double with this hand.
With a club void?
The club void. I just think you're too high risk that they're just going to be able to take a bunch of tricks.
Yeah.
I think double would be a perfectly reasonable bid. I honestly don't know. I could go in any direction. I would bid 2 spades.
All right, so we're gonna go down your path now. We're gonna go down.
I hope that
your
my
path.
lack of the fact that I'm not sure should be comforting to everybody. That
Right.
this happens.
Well, this is a freaky hand. I mean, this is a crazy hand.
Just in general, this happens. I just want everybody to know that this happens a lot in real life. I'm sitting in situations where I don't have the right answer.
For sure.
For one thing, anything can be right. I could give you hands that partner could have where 2 spades is the right bid. I could give you hands that partner could have where 2 clubs is the right bid. I could give you hands that you could have where partner could have where doubles the right bid. So you're not going to be right, and you can't judge whether you are right based on the outcome of the hand. That's the hard thing.
Oh yeah, big thing, folks. Resulting is bad, and my father had the best quote, and I'm sure you've heard it before, Gavin. We do not play results; we play bridge. Right. So and the reason we're talking about this is you can't be upset if you've made reasonable choices that have led to a bad result through through no fault of your own. Basically, you made a logical choice and it was wrong. That happens a lot. And the thing is, when you're playing with somebody who might be inexperienced, they'll be like, well, why did we get a bad result there? And the answer very frequently is because of what the other people did, not necessarily of what you did. So here we're gonna bid our 2 spades and see what happens. And now partner bids 2 no. And we should know what this
I'm not
is.
that unhappy about it. Partner's asking for the minors, so now I know partner's got shortness in spades, and
Yep.
I think this hand's going to play great in diamonds. I'm not worried about. We're playing match points. I'm not worried about bidding a game. We could have a game now. There's a
Yep.
very decent chance if partner's got a singleton spade and some diamond support that I can already see that we only have really two losers.
So
So
do we bid just 3 diamonds here then?
I'm not looking for trouble. Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm just trying to get my plus score and be done with it.
All right,
And
beautiful. And here we are. We're about to see the dummy here.
there it
And
is.
very nice.
Not only do we make a slam, a
We make
game, we make a grand slam.
in hearts, yeah.
That is pretty amazing.
I know.
And
Opposite a 1-no trump opener. So let's think about his hand. He just has clubs and spades basically. We can kind of look at his hand right through this prism here and tell that it looks like he has solid clubs and the king queen of spades, or maybe the jack of hearts instead. Really interesting hand.
and we also could have taken one no trump double for a lot of tricks. We
Oh,
had
a ride.
six diamonds and five hearts and the ace of spades, 12 top cashing
12
tricks.
tops. So
Against
yeah,
it in
double
one
would
no
have
trump.
been okay for us as well. Maybe our best score, but we'll start with this one. So here, I'm just gonna kind of rough one of these just for the hell of it here because we're playing match points.
Okay, from there, we just want to make sure that the trumps are drawn. We can use hearts to throw away our spades.
Right,
So
right.
now, but yeah,
Well, we have so many trumps. We're just drawing 2 rounds.
right. But now, if the hearts don't break, you can't get back to them, right? So we might have
Oh
ended
yeah,
up
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got you.
by playing it this way.
Bingo. All right, 35%. I would guess the doublers here, and we can take a look at the other tables. Looks like, whoa, some people did get to 6 hearts here. How did they navigate that? 1 no trump, 2 diamonds.
Yeah, they didn't look at what system they were
Yeah,
playing.
they showed both majors and
They
ended up playing 6.
showing the
Wow.
majors.
And let's take a look. Yeah, that happened
That
exactly
happened a
twice.
lot.
Very cool. And if we double, it looks like we'll end up getting to some number of hearts here as well. Okay, good stuff. Well, we started with a little crutch here, but that's okay. I'm going to open this one for us. I think everyone would agree. We're going to open a spade. Ooh, very nice. And we see 3 hearts here from partner. Now, I know what I would play this as, and I'm pretty sure the robot plays it as the same. The robot plays it as invitational with 6 hearts. And that's something I would probably make agreements with my partner with as well, if this would be the same. Gavin, what do you think?
Invitation with 6 hearts. That's what I play with all of my partners.
Yeah.
That jump shifts to lower suits. Now, with a lot of my partners, I play some form of Bergen raises, but this bid doesn't get isn't part of Bergen. So
Right.
even with the people I play Bergen raises, I would play 3 hearts as invitational. With the people who I don't play any Bergen raises, I would play all of the bids below 1 spade would be invitational.
Yeah, and that's because those are problem hands. When I have an invitation hand with 6 hearts and my partner opens a spade, I don't love bidding a no trump, especially because occasionally if you're playing a semi-forcing no trump, you might just be playing 1 no with your 6-card heart suit. So you have a way to invite and show this and avoid issues going forward. Question is, what do we do when partner makes an invitational bid? And I will ask you in bidbox now, and then we will see what Gavin says here. So partner is essentially just shown some sort of invitational hand with 6 hearts. And the question is, what do we do with our hand? And folks, Bergen raises, if you are interested in Bergen raises, you can see me Thursday morning, 10 a.m. I'm doing a Bergen raises classes live, and you can go to learnbridge.nyc to sign up for that. Gavin and I are doing a Monday evening class as usual. Mondays at 7:30. We have the Gavin and Rob show, and we have a new series coming up in 2 weeks on Sundays. That's going to be modern bidding, and this is going to be an ongoing course that's going to teach you kind of not necessarily what system to play, but how to evaluate your hands properly and how to kind of come up with a cohesive system and agreements that you can play with pretty much anybody that has seen these videos or these classes. So go to learnbridge.nyc to check out all that. And Gavin, you and your mom have a class, right? When is it?
Friday morning. It'll be something similar to what we're doing here, where we'll be playing against robots and stopping and going through each hand and really talking through different spots on opening lead, on play, and a lot of bidding, a lot of the same sort of stuff.
Good
it's
stuff.
amazing what comes up when you're just sitting and playing a robot.
I think this is one of the best ways to kind of conduct a class because this is bridge in its native environment. so to speak, right? You're being given a random choice rather than a simple concept that if you see it twice, you're going to get it right for, 6 more hours, basically. Here, a little bit different. So, okay, we see some people bidding 3 no. In fact, that's the most common choice. The second most common is pass. So, Gavin, what are you doing with this thing?
I like pass.
Me too.
I definitely I think that 3-no is okay. The problem I have with 3-no Trump is we only have the one heart. Partner's gonna we're not gonna have a lot of communications unless partner's got incredibly good hearts. We're not it's gonna be very hard for us to find a source of tricks. We're gonna, even if partner's got ace king six of hearts, what's gonna happen is we're gonna lead the queen of hearts and it's gonna have to hold the trick, and then we're gonna have to use whatever card partner has outside of the ace king six of hearts as an entry. And then if the hearts don't break, I just don't see 3-no Trump panning out. And that's really what, just to talk about it, that's really what I'm doing. I'm actually building a hand that partner could have. That I know partner's got 6 hearts, and I know that they have about 11 points. And I just give them 11 points and try to play the hand out in my head about to see whether I'm going to make 3-no Trump. And I actually go through this process at this decision point. I'm sitting, I'm thinking, okay, if partner's got 6 hearts, the ace king, and let's say the ace of diamonds.
Yeah, and let's say they lead a diamond initially. That's the big worry in situations like this, is that the entry just goes bye-bye at trick 1.
If you even have a stopper in diamonds.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's risky. You could make a game. Look, we saw in the last hand we played 3 diamonds, making all the tricks. So it's not a perfect science. Partner could easily have a hand with ace king jack 10 6 of hearts, where that's now we're up to 8 tricks just before we start. 6 hearts in the ace king of spades. Now, as long as partner's got a nibble, we're going to make 3-no Trump. So it can easily be right to a big game.
Yeah, so we're
I
gonna
think the odds are against it, though.
we're gonna pass. Okay, so this is an interesting hand. We are gonna do, looks like, quite well, and the lead, it becomes interesting because this is a pretty common spot. When you see this queen of club lead, and when it's the robot, this could certainly be something weird. But in a general sense, you would think that this person has the queen and the jack. So at least the first play should be pretty normal. We should not be winning this king over here, because if this person has queen jack, which they're likely to have on this lead, if we take the king now, we're going to lose the jack later. Whereas if we play low, we can potentially finesse this jack of clubs later on in the hand for extra tricks or 2. All right, so here we're going to win this. And Gavin, what next?
So I just want to, we may not need to worry about that club. We're
Because
going to
of the
see what
spades,
happens.
yes.
We have the king of spades that we're going to be able to use for something.
Yes.
We're not sure yet what it's going to go. Some people, and I find often people tend to take their discards a little earlier than they need to. There's not, so right away you can see that we can take the ace king of spades and throw away one of our losers, but there's no urgency
Correct.
to throwing those cards away. If even if we play a heart, let's say my goal on every hand in a trump suit is to draw trumps as soon as I possibly can. When I say as soon as possibly can, sometimes I need to rough things first.
And
But
that's
otherwise,
the key. Just real quick before you keep continuing, Gavin, the key to that point of the hand is when you're talking about drawing trump or roughing. We're never roughing in this case because we can tell the shorthand doesn't have any roughing values and only has 1 trump. The times where you're delaying are usually when the short trump hand also has shortness, right? So we're gonna usually attack there. Here, there's nothing going on in that shorthand, so we can draw trump more quickly than usual.
the other thing, people who tend to, when they find themselves in a 7-card fit, people panic and tend to stay away from drawing trumps when, in fact, because we only have 7 hearts, it becomes even more urgent to get our opponent's trumps out. They have 6 trumps out there, and if we don't take them out, they're going to eventually be able to separate them between and score them on separate tricks. Yep. The more rounds of hearts that we can lead, the more often 2 of their hearts are going to get played at exactly the same time. So as uncomfortable as it is to draw trumps when you have king jack 6, let's say we even only had a singleton little heart in dummy, that's when I find people are afraid to lead trumps. But it's
all the
so
time.
important.
Yeah.
What you have to see is that once the opponent's trumps are out, our little hearts are going to take tricks. So we don't need to rough with them now. There's no advantage to roughing heart in our hand.
Yep.
The advantage here is getting the opponent's trumps out.
Absolutely, and that's just so we can safely take our side tricks. And we see when we let a low heart to the queen, it was actually better when they take the ace there, right? They haven't, excuse me, they haven't disrupted our communication to any great degree, and now they fire a diamond for us right into our king. So I would guess you're playing low here, Gavin.
We are playing low. I see a question in the chat from the bidding. They said I thought three heart shows weak.
Yeah, Jim. This 3 heart bid shows an invitational hand, and that's
But
more of the modern bidding, and that's what the robot agrees. You can certainly play this as preemptive if you like, but I would say there's certainly more equity for playing it as an invitational bid in these spots, Gavin.
yeah, but equity or not, it's very possible that you and your partners play three heart shows a week hand.
Absolutely.
So
in fact,
if you blanket agreement,
yeah,
for weak for weak jump shifts, then that's what that bid means. It's a weak jump shift.
Yep.
You would need to agree with your partner that we play this auction as a invitational jump shift.
Yeah, exactly. This is not a standard agreement, but it is becoming more of the right thing to do, I would say, in expert circles, that you would play this as such. And now we see they're putting us to a little bit of a test here after winning their ace of diamonds. They're leading a diamond through. So
Yeah.
what are we thinking about here?
Well, I'm thinking that if I wasn't playing against robots, I would be nearly 100% sure that the Jack of Clubs was with East. So I don't see a need to finesse this diamond, because I can use my King of Spades to throw away that little diamond.
Bingo.
And then eventually finesse the club. That's what I would be thinking.
And we can do this safely. We can get rid of this diamond safely before we ever have to test clubs as well, which is the important thing also, right? So we're going to safely take our king. We're going to draw some trump here as well, because we're just trying to get rid of their trump. And we see, okay, 2 rounds have survived, and we're not going to pitch any of those clubs because those might also be tricks here. And now we see, okay, we did not see the heartbreak. And before we test clubs, guys, which could produce a loser, it may not. In fact, it's not really likely to. We're still going to be safe.
Might as well get rid of that
cash
diamond.
our spades and get rid of the diamond. And now we can transport back to our hand, and we see a club pitch. That's probably good for us. And we take our 10. It looks like they had queen and 1 on this hand, Gavin. So we're
so be it. But now be careful. Yeah, exactly at the end.
Exactly. We weren't looking. The trump was good.
Okay.
All right, so we took one less trick than possible, because I don't think either one of us were paying attention to the spots. We got lucky with the 10-9 of hearts being tight there. Oh, we have some work to do, Gavin. We're at 30% after 2 boards.
I don't worry when I'm playing. I don't mind. I'm happy to come in dead last if I'm doing smart things and whatever. It doesn't bother me to not do well. You're not going to do well every time you play bridge.
For sure. I mean, have you been sub 40 at any point in the last 2 years? And what I mean is below 40%. And
I had one of the worst club games last year in February. I was like low 30s.
Yeah,
I would have told you that I didn't think I could have a game that low anymore. Just because there's enough hands that I just, I'm dealt a 1-0 trump opener and I take enough tricks. You get averages. I get as when you're a better player in a room, it's there's certain hands that you're kind of dealt a 60% board just because you've seen it before. And so to have a 32%, and I don't mean in an elite sort of way. It's when you have a certain number of 60% boards, it's hard to have a 33% game.
For sure.
I had one that it felt terrible, but it's funny because with the same partner, the next time we played, we had almost 70%. I'm like, okay, I could deal with that.
Yeah,
I don't mind coming first one day and last the next day. That's better than coming right in the
middle. And all of us have had those games. Everyone's like, oh man, I'm never going to win. But I mean, I've gone through like at least several sessions in a row saying, man, what am I doing? What am I doing poorly here? When really,
I mean, it's no joke, honestly. In bridge, you have these roller coasters. I always say it's this track where you start getting better, and then you start realizing how little you know, and then your confidence goes down. And
that's the worst spot. Yes.
And your confidence goes down as you get better, and then you realize, hey, I'm actually pretty good. And as you play better when you're confident. So believe in yourself. That's the one thing you got to do. Even when you think I can't believe how many mistakes I'm making. You have to believe in yourself and understand that you're only realizing the mistakes you're making because you're getting better. So
Yeah,
it's
and honestly, the two things that you said there that really bring up what I would tell my students at any time is, um, it's a very logical game, and even if you're not a great player, your first instinct is usually pretty good because it's based on sound logic, we hope, and be confident and go with it. And if it's wrong, you've just found an opportunity to learn something, right? And also the emotions that we talked about the last couple of weeks when we talk about tilt. When something goes bad, don't get too upset. And when something goes really well, don't get too happy, right? Just stay almost emotionally dead because that's where your best thinking is going to come from, right? So, yeah, we definitely have issues as pros, just like normal bridge players do. So, not just because we play a lot
you
of
have no
bridge
idea.
and we
In
play
fact,
well.
maybe even to more extreme. But you don't maybe see it when you're interacting with us because we're playing in an environment at the club where we can maintain a level of confidence. But over time, when you're playing in high level competitions, there's weeks where you can't believe it. Like I definitely, and I have moments where
Well, I had the worst
I
session
think,
of
how
my
can I,
last few years
call
on
myself a
Viewgraph.
professional when I'm playing like this? Like
Yeah.
or
I've had honestly the most terrible session ever while people were able to watch, and that is just mortifying.
well, right
And it
here we're
just
on our way.
yeah, exactly.
On our way here. So
All
far,
right,
so
so we're getting back to bridge here. We're just gonna open this a spade, even though this is a terrific hand. There's really no reason to do anything but open a spade.
yeah. If partner passes one spade, I will feel completely comfortable that we haven't missed a game. There's no reason to
Absolutely.
upgrade this hand. This is only 17 books. I don't think most people would see this hand and think I need to upgrade this to a two club opener. This is
But
a nice one.
but now we get a nice response here that we can talk about because this is a hand that is strong, but how strong is it? So we open a spade and partner bids a no trump, which they play as forcing, semi-forcing ish. What call are we going to make with this hand? And I'm going to give everybody a chance to pop that in the chat. I'm not sure what I would do necessarily yet here. I'm leaning towards something, but this is a tough hand. Yeah, Mark, not quite good enough. You have too many losers here. Mark was saying two clubs seems viable. Uh, what we want to look for if we don't have like 22 points, we want to look for a hand that's within a trick of game usually, like 4.5 losers. And here we're looking at too much. I think.
As a pretty simple rule, I basically think of what hands partner's going to pass my opening bid, and if partner's going to pass my opening bid and we're going to make game too often, I would open two clubs.
Yeah.
But as long as I need partner to have a simple response, I'm never opening two clubs. So here, if partner doesn't have enough to respond to one spade, we are not missing a game. I mean, we could have a game.
Yeah.
But most likely, if partner passes a spade, we're not making a game.
Yeah, and if we do, we're kind of resulting that also, which is not good, right? We should be happy with what we're doing here as far as
that's definitely
opening one.
true. There's no doubt at match points. I think 99% of the room would be opening one spade. So
Agreed.
opening two clubs, it's taking the hand in a different direction from the first bid, and that's definitely not a good idea.
Yeah, you don't want to be against the field too often, especially if you feel like you're a good player, right? You kind of want to be in the same contracts everyone else is. Okay, guys, give it a couple more seconds. We have, looks like 3 different bids. 3 spades, 62%. 2 spades, about a quarter of the field, and 2 clubs, 11% of the field. So let us ask Gavin Wolpert what he would do with this hand.
They're all reasonable, and you're too strong for two spades. Two spades
For
is not
sure.
really. Two spades is what I would bid if I had a lot less. I think if I didn't
Well,
have the
well,
king spades.
think of 2 spades as like a 12 to 15-ish type bid, folks. Right? That your minimum range with 6 cards, basically, and we're just way too good for that. What about 2 clubs? Closer.
Two clubs is in the game. So the problem with 3 clubs is we're really we're forcing to game. I don't know if it's a problem. Maybe this hand is good enough for 3 clubs, but 2 clubs, it's not limited. It's not limited in the same way that 2 spades is, because it's only limited by the fact that we don't have enough to jump to 3 clubs. Jumping to 3 clubs is a game forcing jump shift. When opener jump shifts to a second suit, they're saying we are going to game. So in order to know you're going to game opposite a one no trump response, you would need to have 19 highs. 19 points opposite 6 is enough for game. We only have 17, but we have a really good 17 count. And one thing you'll just hear me repeat this over and over, both of us repeat it over and over, that it's not just our high card points. We have to look at what trick-taking potential we have in our hand that isn't covered by our high card points. And here, we are definitely, if we played in spades, we're going to take some number of spade tricks that are not accounted for in our high cards. And part of that is just because we have 6 of them. And part of that is because our spade suit is so good that by playing ace, king, 10, the chances are the last few will be good, no matter what partner spades are.
Yeah, and don't discount those good intermediate cards. The 10 and the 9 are big cards, especially when you have the top 2 honors for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, even if partner has a singleton spade, after we play the ace king, if the jack or queen drops, then all we'll need to do, no matter whether spades are breaking 3-3 or not, all we'll need to do is play the 10 to force out the other one.
Yep, and
the
now
other
we have
queen,
one loser instead of
and then
2.
our spade will be set up with only one loser. That's even if partner has no help for us in spades, just a singleton. So this suit is worth more than just your typical 7 points. I'm leaning in the direction of forcing this hand to game. The problem I have with 2 clubs is our spades are so good that if partner passes 2 clubs
with like 3 clubs and a stiff spade,
with a hand with a singleton spade or even a void in spades, to be completely honest, and 3 clubs, I'm gonna feel like I'm in a club fit when I should have been in spades. Spades pays more, and I know I'm gonna make in my own hand. I'm gonna make 2 or 3 spades.
Right.
So any card partner has to offer. I don't want to take the risk of bidding 2 clubs. So I'm wiping 2 clubs off the board. 2 spades is off the board. It's not enough. So that now I'm kind of down to 3
spades and 3 clubs,
or 3 spades. 3 spades would show a 16 to 18 point hand. The issue I have with 3 spades is, what do I need from partner to make game? Let's say partner's got, I'm going to give him the minimum. I'm going to give him a good minimum, but let's say partner's got the king of clubs and the king of hearts. That's 6 points. If partner has that hand, we're going to make a game. We're pretty big favorite to make a game.
Still lose 2 clubs and a spade and be fine.
Yeah, and partner's not going to bid over 3 spades. And also, if partner's got some 7 or 8 point hand with 1 spade, when I bid 3 spades, they're going to think, my hand doesn't fit so well with spades. I think I'm going to take the low road. But in reality, I really don't need a spade fit for this spade suit to be a viable trump suit. All I need from partner is 1 spade, and I'll be pretty comfortable playing with spades as trumps. So I think that I'm leaning towards making that game forcing jump shift. And then if partner,
let's just make this let's make sure we understand this is not usually what we would be game forcing with, at least values wise. But what Gavin's talking about is not just the values in this hand, it's the trick taking potential, and also the way we think about this when we're constructing these hands is important, because that's the thought process that it's going to take to evaluate your hand properly. So here, even though we only have 17 points, this appears to be our best option based on the other options that we have, right? So usually this is 19 plus, and here this is a hand that's worthy of that, is what we're trying to say, I believe. And now we see 3 hearts.
That's interesting. So what is 3 hearts? Can you?
It's natural 5 plus.
Wow. So we have an amazing hand facing 5 hearts. To be completely honest with you, stop.
I'm just looking at what they are.
Come on, man. We got to talk about this.
Don't worry.
There's a lot to talk about here.
Don't worry.
Okay. All right. I just got that trigger finger, quick finger. Okay. So
I'm not going to take us beyond anything.
So I want to stop and we're going to keep building hands that partner could have. Yeah. Let's talk about the hand where partner
let's just start with one thing first. In these situations, always, when we have made the game forcing bid, we have to understand that we've done that. So remember that partner's choices pass was not one of their choices. All right. Sorry, again. Go.
No, that's a really good point. But so I'm building hands. I know I have a monstrous hand in support of partner's hearts. With that said, if they lead a club, that's going to make my hand a lot worse. So I'm kind of trying to visualize the play. I'm thinking, let's give our partner king 5th of hearts. Okay, if partner has king 5th of hearts, then I can kind of see on a diamond lead how the hand is going to play out to us taking a ton of tricks.
And the other thing that we know here is partner doesn't have 3 spades.
Right. So if they let a diamond, let's give partner king fifth of hearts and they lead a diamond. I'm going to expect partner king fifth of hearts and no other cards. We're not going to add another card into partner's hand. I know partner's going to be able to trump that heart, trump the diamond, draw the ace queen of hearts, play the ace king of spades and rough a spade, and the spades could easily be good. Now partner can finish drawing trumps and come back to my ace of clubs and take all those good spades. So I see that is a very possible outcome for us to make a slam when partner only has 3 points. If partner has a 6th heart, it gets even more likely. And so I have, even though we go back to our last bid and we made a bid that we felt we were upgrading. We moved the 17 count up to a 19 count.
But now our hand got better.
Now somehow our hand got a lot better. But going back to what I was saying about thinking of I'm sorry if I went a little bit quickly through that play, but if they lead a club, that changes things a lot.
Now our entry's
That's
gone.
taking away our key entry. I'm going to win. The partner's probably going to have to, if partner doesn't have a club honor in their hand, they're probably going to have to win the ace of clubs. They still have the potential of setting up those spades, but it's going to be a little riskier to re-enter dummy. They're not going to be able to rough a diamond if they want to draw trumps and enjoy my spades. And they're not going to be able to enjoy my spades unless they draw trumps. So
they need either 6 hearts and an even break or not a club lead, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would want what at this point in the hand, I know 4 hearts would be the minimum I'm going to bid. Jim, the robot says it shows at least 5.
Yeah, 5.
If they had 6, I think I would probably just drive to a slam.
You might just bid 6 hearts, actually.
Yes, but so here I would like to bid 4 hearts, but I want to make a bid that says to partner, I have the best possible hand for your heart suit. Now, I don't know what the robot believes that would be, but with my partners, I would bid 4 diamonds. And this is maybe a little bit tough of a concept for some people. That's okay if this is kind of over your head. But for those of you who can see it, there's at this point in the auction, if I had spades and clubs and diamonds and I didn't have hearts, my next bid would be 3 no trump. And if I had extra spades and no heart fit, I would rebid my spades. If I had extra clubs and no heart fit, I would rebid my clubs. 4 diamonds is the only suit that we would never introduce naturally. So sometimes in these types of auctions, we need to make up a bid. Like we can see here, we have this problem. We have a hand that's too strong to just bid 4 hearts. So if this is a level you can get to with your partner, using 4 diamonds here to say I have a really good hand in support. I have a really good 4 heart bid. I have a better 4 heart bid than you could ever imagine.
And you should notice that was the first bid I looked at when we got to this call. And unfortunately for us, and this is a really cool feature of the instant tournaments, or really anytime you play with the robot. If you mouse over a bid that you're considering, it will tell you what your partner will take it as. And unfortunately for us on this auction, our partner is going to take 4 diamonds as just diamonds, and
which is crazy because we would never ever bid 4 diamonds as
naturally
diamonds.
Here. Yeah, it's crazy.
You can either bid 4 diamonds as a heart fit or not bid 4 diamonds because you don't have that agreement, or it wouldn't occur to you.
And Donna has a good question here. Why not just bid 4 no trump? And there's a big issue with that, Donna.
There's a couple issues. One is if partner tells us that they have 1, we won't know whether it's the king of hearts or the ace of diamonds. That's the problem always with bidding black over the void. The other, I would say the other issues is that's just basically bidding slam. So no matter what partner does, we're going to be left like we're not bringing our partner into the game. What we'd like to do is find a bid that says to partner, I've already heard that you have 6 points and 5 hearts. What do you think? Do you want to bid slam? I've got the best hand.
I think this is probably our only choice with the robot at this point.
Okay. So I'm with you that 5 hearts would be my bid. I think we're too strong to just bid 4 hearts.
All right, and our partner.
Now we're in 5. We probably should be in 4 or 6.
All right.
Okay. All right. Well,
Partner's got some good cards.
Good news, bad news. Good news, bad news with that hand. So
yeah.
we see that partner's got nice club fillers and that queen of spades. Those are all really good cards. The issue here, though, partner's diamonds are going to need to be trumped in our hand, and or just taken care of. We're going to be at a risk if dummy runs out of trumps. They're going to have a lot of diamond winners, so we just have to keep that in mind. But again, and it's funny because like we talk about, we have to draw trumps. We're always thinking when we're playing in a trump suit, we have to draw trumps. But we always think, is there something we need to do first? Now the question here is, do we have urgency to rough those diamonds in dummy, or is there another way to go about this? Now I think it looks like if we play a heart to the queen and it loses, we're not going to be what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to play back a diamond and make us rough and dummy, but we still wouldn't be dead to rights from there. We still have the chance that we could use our spades to throw away our diamonds, and we also had that chance that the queen of hearts finesse will win. So I don't know. What do you think, Rob?
I like your line right there. Just heart to the queen, and then we'll reassess with what happens next. And honestly, this is a common problem for a lot of you. You see maybe one way and not more than one way. And here we're right. We could definitely always be trumping diamonds, but there's another way, and probably a slightly safer way to get rid of diamonds with other cards, meaning the spades.
That, and once we rough a diamond, we can't afford to rough two. That's the real
exactly, because we have to draw trump with our big cards from dummy for sure. So let's see what happens. 2 of hearts, 8, queen.
Bingo. All right, we survived that one. That's
bingo,
one bingo. Down. But so now I would definitely go over to the spade before I want to start unblocking this hand a little.
Bingo. And now heart through the ace.
Yeah. So again, we could think about roughing a diamond, but our goal would be the problem is that's not good news for us.
All right, so we have Jack 9 just sitting over there. We have 2 losers, but it's not a totally dead situation yet. We still have he's going to draw trump from dummy, unfortunately. We just have
so we now have an urgency because East first of all, if hearts were 3-2 at this point, if West followed suit, we were good to go. Yeah. We were going to play the ace of spades throwing a diamond. We were going to play the king of spades throwing a diamond, and eventually we were going to be able to rough a diamond
or if spades are breaking evenly, we're just going to force them to rough at some point and then be able to rough that last diamond. But this 4-1 break changes it for sure.
So we actually only really have one hope here. So the problem is that if we start leading spades right now, let's look at what will happen. Let's say the spades are breaking. We play the ace of spades, we throw 1 diamond.
Yep.
We play the king of spades and we throw a 2nd diamond. Let's say that everybody follows suit. Now, if we play the 10 of spades and throw a 3rd diamond, East has 2 trumps. So they're going to be able to rough with their smaller trump and then use their jack of hearts to pull dummy's trump, and then they'll have a good diamond. So we actually have to start right now. We have no choice but to cross to the king of clubs first.
And rough a diamond.
And now, if he's roughing this, we were dead.
Very nice. That's the one thing you should be worried about because of the lead, by the way. They let a club initially. So here, now we're going to get to the business of using our trump.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're going to try and hope spades are breaking.
Now, so the king of spades holds, we're back to oh, beautiful. Well, that's not beautiful. Stop.
Well, if the clubs are 3 now, we could be okay.
we need the clubs to break now in order for us to make the contract. We can rough a spade, or if he's got all of them. But yeah, we can rough a spade and try to come back in that club that he roughed, unfortunately. So we're going to go down.
Man,
our 30% game is getting.
I should never have asked you about your 30% game. I think I jinxed this entire tournament here.
A good sense of humor. Let's see if we can beat our worst game ever.
All right, let's see. No one's gonna watch this if we can scrape together. Oh, we're sub 30 now. 26%. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's just end this, guys. Sorry. See you later. We're never going to be back.
Are you joking? Let's enjoy the ride. And the key is we're having a terrible game. I am still not going to let Rob operate to try to get it.
Yeah, but you forget I have control of the mouse, so I can operate whenever I want.
You will not hear the end of it if you start operating.
All right, so this time
here to try to learn. We're not here to try to.
This is a good hand to actually take a look at. It goes a club past a spade to you. Your opponents have started this auction, right? So your lefty opened a club, your righty bid a spade, and the question is, what call do you make with this hand? Nikki is saying, Nikki, how dare you, by the way? Nikki is saying, I think Gavin should be in control of the mouse. I mean,
or at least have a way
can
to
if
buzz
this
him
was
away from it, you
can
know?
I mute Nikki? How do I do this? Hide user on this channel. Put user in timeout. I should put her in a timeout because of that comment, honestly. Nikki,
But
I thought we were
you'll
friends.
join her if you do something weird. I'm just telling you. Post or not.
All right,
Okay.
so let's see what the crowd is taking a look at here. So 85% so far are doubling. We have a couple of 2 diamond bidders. We have a passer. No one's Judy supports. All right, guys, I quit. Mute.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Anybody else wants to chime in on
Anyone
that?
else want to pile on to
I
support
appreciate
Gavin and
the
dump on
assistance.
Rob? Feel free. I was gonna come up with a nickname for you, Gavin. I think it's like CC, Canadian Card Shark, maybe CCS.
I mean, I don't know where you're going with it.
Or I honestly, I think your wife's name should be J Dub, Jenny Wolpert, J Dub. That's a cool nickname. You could be G Dub, she could be J Dub.
Yeah, so I played on my online poker handle was Boykie. My dad used to call me Boykie for because he was South
Boykie.
African. He said, "Boykie, come here."
Ah, I see.
And so Boykie is what kind of been my my go-to nickname. That's so if you want to call me something that's or just Gav, but no, don't be getting. I mean,
No G Dub for you. No G Dub.
what was that? CC? What does that have to
The
do
the
with Gav?
Canadian, wait, you're Canadian. I'm bringing in all your heritage together. Okay, so the huge percentage of you are doubling with this hand,
Okay, and
and
that's a good thing because double is definitely the right bid. Uh,
and it's
just
because
you
of
know,
the suits we have, basically.
yeah, this is important. We keep touching these takeout double spots of when did they promise the unbid suits and when do they not. In this case, we're the first one to enter the auction with our partnership, so we are always going to have support for all of the unbid suits. The fewer number of unbid suits there are, the more cards we promise in each suit. So in this case, because there are only 2 unbid suits, we play double promises 4-4 or as close to. We could have a super double. What do you call it, Rob? The super duper double.
The big
What do you
double or the power double, whatever.
Power. Well, no, but you had a name for it, didn't you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I
Are
thought
you
you had a
confusing your classes here? It's been a crazy couple weeks for sure.
no. It was definitely you. You had some explanation for the
I don't.
power.
I don't even know what day it is.
Okay.
Power double, big boy
We might
double.
not have the right shape,
Yeah.
but in this case, double promises 4-4 in the unbid suits.
What would you do with 5 hearts and 4 diamonds? Good question.
It would depend on my hearts. The power double, that's what Rob calls it. Thank you. Okay. Well, so you could have a power double, but otherwise you're showing 4-4 here. And it would depend on how good my heart suit is. The better my heart suit is, the more likely I'm just going to overcall hearts.
Good.
So this is going to happen. And so we had quite a good hand here, our 16-point hand. Our left-hand opponent promised 11 or 12. So that's 26 or 27 points or 27 or 28. Let me do the math. What do we have? We had 16.
That's 16.
28. And our right-hand opponent showed 5 or 6, with their response. So the most we can really bank on partner having here is 5 or 6. But honestly, as long as partner has a fit for one of our suits, our hand here is going to take a lot of tricks. Like if partner's got 3 diamonds, we don't have a lot of losers, or 4 diamonds, we don't have a lot of losers. Yep. And the key here is partners does not have a good enough hand in order to bid at the 3 level. We know that they don't have. So we can't really take the fact that partner has passed 2 spades to mean that they don't have a fit for us in one of our suits. Sometimes when it's lower, like let's say when we make a takeout double, they open a club and I double and they bid a diamond. Now partner doesn't need that much to poke in with 1 heart or 1 spade.
Sure.
But when they don't, I can take an inference that partner either has a terrible hand or doesn't have hearts or spades. Here, I know partner doesn't have a strong enough hand to bid at the 3 level. I have a much better hand than I had initially said for my first takeout double. When I first came in, I was kind of saying I had around an opening bid and support for the unbid suits. Now I think I have an excellent hand, and I'm not going to let the bidding die here at 2 spades. I know the opponents have a spade fit. To me, it's very important that we push this hand up to the 3 level, that we see if we can get partner to bid.
And the way we're going to do it is to double again. And I know some of my students would think, okay, isn't this a penalty double because we've already doubled for takeout? And the answer is absolutely not, because we still are sometimes going to just want partner to take a choice, and that's what we're looking for here, right? We don't really care if they pick diamonds or hearts, right? So we're simply going to make a choice to double to give partner the input and kind of get us to the right spot, we hope.
Just so you know, if you're ever in that position, you're in partner's seat and you're trying to figure out what does that double mean. It's really important you don't just have a preconception of what double should mean. You should look at your hand and try to figure out, because in this case, partner's probably looking at 2 or 3 spades.
Probably 3 exactly, maybe 2.
Probably 3. It depends.
Yeah.
They could have more. One spade bidder could
One
have
spade could have 5. Yeah, we know. With
whatever.
the interesting thing here, guys, is we know West has exactly 4 spades because they could have made a support redouble. So when they raise spades, we know it's 4. That's how we're getting to that number, guys.
So because if partner's looking at 3 spades, they know for sure our double is not penalty. We're not trying to double the opponents at the 2 level without
with 2 max spades.
But usually when we're doubling the opponents for penalty, we have trumps.
Yeah.
It's very, in fact, you always should have good trumps when you double the opponents for penalty, unless they're really high up. It's a really high level hand.
All right, let's see how we do. Let's see if we can improve our 26%. Whoa, partner has
look at this dummy,
worst,
whatever,
but it's still good.
What a beauty. So partner had exactly the 2 cards that we would have ever dreamed that they could have. And when dummy comes down, the first thing, again, in these trump contracts, you're thinking, I need to draw trumps, but do I need to do anything first? That's always the first thing that's coming through my mind is it time to draw trumps, or do I have to sort something out? And in this case, we can, I know North is now the declarer, but South is the strong hand. So we kind of got to look at what it's going to take to set up South. And South doesn't have any losers that are going to need to be roughed in North.
Yep.
You do have like a spade loser and a club loser up North that could be roughed in South, but we don't need to worry about that, because when the diamonds are set up, South is just going to have 2 club losers, a spade loser, and a diamond loser. And as long as the trumps are out, we're not going to lose any other tricks.
And let's just talk in general terms, folks. This is a hand that will pop up again and again and again. And it's this situation. You have a suit that you're playing in as a trump suit, hearts, and you have a nice source of tricks on the side, a side suit. In these situations, it is almost always the correct strategy to, well, number 1, draw trump, and number 2, play and or set up your side suit, because we want to run diamonds at some point. We just want to make sure we can do that uninterrupted. So a long side suit with a trump fit that you're playing in, almost always drawing trump and playing our winners in the side suit. Is that fair, Gav? Gavin?
It is absolutely. So the only thing we're worried about here is if the trumps don't break. You'd always start with the ace of hearts, and it's funny. Normally, I'd be a little bit worried about conserving entries, because it looks pretty much like that North hand is going to be dead pretty soon. They're not going to have a lot over there, and I'm always worried about cutting myself off from one hand or the other. But what I would always do is I would look at what suits are there any suits that need to be led from a specific hand? And in this case, diamonds, it wouldn't matter which side I lead it from. I'm not leading spades or clubs. There's no real entry problem on this hand. So this is just a matter of drawing trumps.
Yep.
Now, please let the hearts already screwed us out of a result.
Nice. Okay. All right. So now we're just going to go to the business that we were talking about before. We drew our trump, and now we're going to play our side suit. And honestly, as soon as I win a trick, I'm just going to claim. Because
but if they don't cash their tricks, then
we're going to take one more. Yeah, they need to play a spade here to be successful, and of course they're the robots, so they are always quite successful on defense. And now we claim. This should definitely be. Oh, nice. We went up 11 percentage points there, Gavin.
If we just keep going up 11 percentage points, we
can get back to even. All right, so this is an 18 count. I'm just going to open a diamond. I know I counted that really fast, but ooh, okay. A diamond, a heart pass to us. The only reason I'm asking, and I want to ask, is because there are occasionally some mistakes in this seat with some of my students, so I want to see what you guys do with this hand. This is a hand that when you open, you have an agenda for it. You know this is usually a two-step process to describe this hand. However, sometimes partner makes a response that might change your decision-making process, and this may or may not be one of those times. Right, so you open a diamond, partner responded a heart. What are we rebidding with this sucker? How you doing on time, Gavin? Can you go till like 11:15 or so? And also, folks watching, can you?
I have nothing.
Good.
I'm good.
Today I have a 3:30 lesson. For those of you that are watching and want something to do later on this afternoon, I'm going to be talking about a fun topic, Gavin. It's going to be slams after we open one no trump. Kind of how to establish a major suit fit after stamen, things like that. Stuff that people might be missing these days.
Yeah, those are all. That's a really important stuff. Important not to be lost when those hands come up. Like you can see that you have a slam, you just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I definitely recommend it. That sounds like a useful class.
All right, so yeah, most of the field is bidding 3 hearts. We have some 4 heart bidders, and as usual with this one, we always have some 2 no trump bidders. 2 no trump is the wrong choice because it does show 18-19 balanced, folks, but it denies 4 hearts. Your partner has just responded in a major, so you certainly don't want to be rebidding 2 no, but that's the hole you fall into. When you, before your partner bid, you said, okay, I'm opening a diamond, and then whatever they do, I'm going to bid 2 no, and then you didn't adjust after partner bid a heart. When they bid a heart here, it changes. And the question really for me is, Gavin, are you bidding 3 or 4 with this?
Yeah, so that's true. And the people who do bid 2 no trump, they might say, but then when partner bids 3 no trump, I can go back to 4 hearts. What's the problem? And the problem is that if you bid 2 no trump, that might be the end of the auction. And you have a 4-4 heart fit, and you're playing in 2 no trump, and your 4-4 heart fit is so likely to take more tricks. You can easily envision a situation where the opponents lead a spade and knock out our king of spades, where as long as we have hearts as trumps, they're not going to be able to run the spade suit at us. But in no trumps, we just might have 2 or 3 or 4, however many spade losers. So there's a real risk in playing in no trump. That's why we can't bid 2 no trump.
For sure.
So the question here is 3 hearts would show. 2 hearts shows a simple raise. Up 12 to 15 points. We're definitely too strong for that. 3 hearts shows 16 to 18. We're in that range, and 4 hearts would show more, 19. 19. This is a good 18-point hand. I'm really, I think it's very close. And usually, again, you'll hear me do this over and over again. What I do is I start thinking about, okay, if I bid 3 hearts, are there hands that my partner's going to pass 3 hearts that we're just going to have an easy game? And I'm start picturing, well, what's it going to take for partner to bid over 3 hearts? Well, I'm going to show 16. So my partner's only going to bid for sure if they have a good 8.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start by saying, okay, so are there 7-point hands and 6-point hands that we're going to make a game? And because if there's too many of those, then I'm not going to give partner the opportunity to pass 3 hearts.
Yeah, and I could just think of one real quickly with the ace of spades, the queen of hearts, and let's say 2 small clubs in partner's hand, maybe a 5th heart.
Spades, queen of hearts
That's a 6 count that you just love.
Yeah, we're just on a diamond finesse for an over trick in
Right.
game partner's hand. I'm thinking, even what if partner just has 5 little hearts, and the ace of spades again? You're that's game on a finesse. If partner has a doubleton club, it's an over trick on a finesse.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, even if partner has the ace of clubs and the queen of hearts, we're going to be at worst on a diamond finesse for making game.
So it sounds like we're bidding 4 hearts.
I think I'm leaning towards upgrading this 18-point hand.
And this is interesting. In match points, it's a little tougher of a decision, I think. I think in imps, you're just always bidding 4 hearts.
That is
honestly.
very true. And just to talk about what features of this hand make it an upgrade to me, again, I'm always talking about what stuff in my hand is going to take tricks that are not accounted for in my high cards. The ace, queen, jack of diamonds being together is incredibly powerful. Even if partner has nothing in diamonds, we have the potential to take 3 or 4 tricks. And now that the difference between this same hand, but if my queen of diamonds was the queen of clubs, is
Huge.
maybe 2 tricks difference between those two 18-point hands. If you take my queen of diamonds and make it the queen of clubs, now my jack of diamonds isn't as useful. And the queen of clubs is like, who knows what that's going to do? It might have no value whatsoever. But I know that together with my ace of diamonds, the queen jack of diamonds are just worth that holding is worth more than 7 points. If you think about it, even take that versus an ace king holding. Ace king is another holding we count 7 points. Ace king is going to take exactly 2 tricks every single time. When you have ace queen jack, you're still, even if the king is going to be offside, we're still going to be entitled to 2 diamond tricks. But even if the king is onside, these 7 points are going to take 3 tricks or even 4 tricks because they're all together. So you have to adjust when your points are carrying more weight than they are just than average.
Good, and let's talk about a couple of the questions in the chat. Margaret, very good question, and it's a question I get so frequently during these particular auctions. The 4 hearts is not a closeout bid traditionally like we were talking about in our competitive auctions class, and it's because of the person that's doing it. The opening bidder is the one that has jumped to game here, right? So we opened 1 diamond showing 12 to 21 points. Our partner responded a heart, and we bid 4 hearts. This is not a closeout at all. We've already opened the bidding. In fact, it's the exact opposite of this. It says, hey, my partner just showed 6 or more points. And I know, based on the fact that they could only have 6, that we have enough for game. So this, by the opening bidder, taking the responsive partner to the game level in a non-game forcing situation is always very, very strong. And that's exactly what we're showing. And Mark, the Spade King certainly at risk. But again, the shortness is also okay, and this is going to be at risk no matter if partner is playing this hand. The King of Spades is able to be led through for sure, but we can't necessarily think that that is a total disaster. And as you can see here, they've led the Ace of Spades, so this is a non-issue at least at this point. And partner has a pretty good hand for us, Gavin, right?
Yeah, it's perfectly good, and they were right on the bubble about whether they would have bid or not.
Right, because they're flat.
They were going to have a tough time deciding what to do over 3 hours. They would say, well, I have 8. My partner shows 16, 18. I think they would have bid game.
Yeah.
But they were close. And without that jack of spades, then they would have had 7. And then they would have had to make that decision. And that jack of spades didn't help us at all.
Of course. Yeah. This would have been just as fine without the jack. It's irrelevant for us. Okay. How are we going to continue? Let's get through this relatively quickly.
Yeah, this is just a matter of pulling trumps, so we're going to eventually use our 4th diamond to throw away club from north. Yeah. So we have to be leery of letting the opponents rough diamonds. So we don't want to play too many rounds of diamonds. Usually this trump suit, this heart suit, what I would like to do to play this trump suit is I would like to cash the ace to see if the singleton queen drops. There's no reason usually to lose to a singleton queen. And then after I've cashed the ace, I would come back to my hand and I would finesse the heart. That's the best way to play that heart suit. But when we start looking at this hand and seeing if we can do that, in order to do that, we would have to win this diamond in dummy and cash the ace of hearts and either cross to the ace of clubs, opening up the club suit, or play a second round of diamonds, putting us at risk for somebody roughing a diamond. So in this particular case, I would not want to risk cashing the ace of hearts. It's not, we don't have the entries to handle that. So I would try to win this hand in my diamond in my hand and just finesse the heart right away. Yep. I wouldn't bother with the singleton queen, and I like leading the 10 so that we can repeat the finesse if we can. Yeah,
especially if we're getting a bad break, that's important. All right, so now it just looks like this is going to go smoothly. We'll see if hearts break. They don't.
Ooh, now I wish we didn't play the 10 of hearts.
Yeah, exactly, because
although we didn't really have the entries to support this, so we're in trouble again as usual. Unless there's no way around this. Yeah, we can cash our diamonds.
Yeah, I mean,
so unfortunately with that 4-1 heart break,
if we had played a low heart, we would be able to rough a spade. Now that's the problem.
Well, we don't have the entries for that anyway. Yeah, I mean, I would play the ace queen. It's not going to hurt us to play our diamonds, ace queen jack of diamonds, because if they all cash, then we might actually be able to now throw away a club. And now you can lead a club. And what would stop now? Yep. What we would like to do is lose the trick to that person. So but I guess that's our only plays. We have to play ace of clubs in a club, and now we just have to hope that it's our left-hand opponent that would win.
That's
Now
too bad.
it didn't matter anyway. We're gonna go down.
Yep. All right. This does not mean that we are too high. This means that we got pretty terribly unlucky.
The Trumps were 4-1 offside. I mean, the chances of that were
Yeah.
not low.
All right, back below 40. Here we go. 15 points.
Really? Awesome.
6-3. I mean, I know what I want to do at this point with a 35% game, but I don't know if Gavin is going to let that happen.
I'm okay actually. This one, I know this is something that'll people look at and they just won't comprehend it. You're saying A, you have 2 doubletons,
Yeah,
and B, you don't have a stopper in either major. So like you can see that from there are too many flaws to this hand to be opening one no trump.
I know. I'm just messing around.
Okay, but what Rob is saying is we're having such a bad game that we might shoot and bid one no trump. Hope there's a lot of good things that can happen by bidding one no trump.
Well, let's talk about this rebid here with the crew. So, guys, in Bidbox, you have your make your call slide. I'm interested to see what we're rebidding after it goes a club by us and a spade by our partner. Club by us, spade by partner. Make your rebid. So yeah, back to our earlier discussion, Gavin. I had the luxury of realizing I was a terrible bridge player very early on in my New York experience because of the people I lived with. And that's honestly the best way to become a better bridge player, in my opinion, is to understand that you're just not very good. And Weinstein said this in the Aces and Knaves documentary. I think you were in that too, right, Gavin?
I was.
One of his best quotes ever is, "We basically all just really stink at this game. We're varying degrees of bad, not close to perfection, and that's kind of the game, right? So even when one of the best players in the country is feeling that way, you can all understand that we're all in this same battle together. Basically, it's a tough game. Not unpredictable. 2 clubs and 3 clubs are getting most of the heat. 2 clubs a little more than 3. What are we doing?
I think that they're both pretty reasonable. I think that we're a little bit strong for 2 clubs. We don't have the 16 to 18 that we're showing with 3 clubs, but
the club suit is so amazing.
Yeah, that we have 7 or 8 tricks in our own hand that I think that 2 clubs just doesn't do this hand justice.
And it's another thing. Let's say we take the queen of diamonds and put it in the heart suit. It's not as good of a hand necessarily as it is now.
King of clubs and put it in a major, and it's way worse.
For sure.
This
now
club
it's much
suit,
easier.
even if a partner has no clubs, this club suit can take 6 tricks.
Yeah, it's taking at least 5 always.
So how many spades did promise?
It should be 6, but it says 5 plus. I mean, I guess it would be 5 normally anyway, but I usually think the robots are above. And here's a problem: we can't really be bidding 3-0 at this point. So what are we doing, Gavin?
It's pretty ugly. I don't know. This is not. I'm not happy with partners 3 spade, but I think I still might bid 3-0. I don't see what we're going to bid 4 clubs. I can't see that turning into a good result.
Right.
We could bid 4 spades. That's in the game.
All right, let's give it a whirl. I'm glad I have control of the mouse, Nikki, so I can make this. Okay, not bad actually. We're pretty happy with this.
Yeah, actually, so just talk about the bidding for a second. Partner really put us put our backs against the wall by bidding 3 spades on that hand. When it goes a club past a spade past 3 clubs, I'm showing 16 to 18 points. One of the things that I'm denying is a reverse, because a reverse is the same strength. I'm still forcing the hand to the 3 level, and it's cheaper. I will get to show my second suit. So I don't have 4 hearts when I jump to 3 clubs. So over 3 clubs, partner could have safely bid 3 hearts to say I have hearts stopped and leave room for me when I have a spade fit to support spades, or that I can bid 3 no trump. By bidding 3 spades, partner put us in a spot where we had no idea if we could stop hearts. They might have just taken the first 5 or 6 hearts here, and so it's really, it wasn't a very good bid. It was too one direction.
Well, what it was partner not helping us, right? They were kind of just in description mode and not in thinking about partner's problems mode, which honestly, if you've gained nothing from these series, the idea that we want to be thinking about partners should be coming clear to most of you, not just partner, but their hands, their decision-making matrix from their side, right? It's very important to be thinking about this. Now we get a nice switch here, Gavin. What are we doing when they have cashed their 2 hearts and now have given us some time on this end? What are you
Well,
thinking?
I mean, we know that we're probably going to take 6 clubs, 2 spades, and a heart. We're going to be able to throw our 7 of diamonds away on that queen of hearts. So our only shot here is to, I mean, our only trick that we might try to get is we might throw in the queen of diamonds and see if the trick wins. We're not like at risk. It's 3 no trump. They're not going to run any
Right.
tricks.
We're not worried about clubs not breaking and maybe having time to set those up anyway. But I guess if the king of diamonds is wrong, it doesn't really matter, right?
I mean, listen, I know that things have been going bad this
Ah,
set, and after 4-1 with your finesse
this is,
offside and whatever, but
there
you
we go.
can't play every hand for a bad break.
Hey, when you start getting down that rabbit hole, you just think nothing can go right. Oh, okay. So this is an easy one. We claim we have all the rest of the tricks, and now we're sub 50, but above 40 now. Important threshold. And I'm going to bid this one for us here. We have a flat 17, folks. This is a hand you just don't upgrade usually. In fact, never, because you're flat, right? If, however, I add, let's say, a spade to this hand, and I give you a 5-card suit or a better 5-card suit, now sometimes with 17, you would choose to open one of a suit and then rebid 2 no. But here we're just going to open a no trump. It goes past 2 clubs, single suited. We've already described our hand.
Yeah, I see this a lot. People, when they have 17 points, they have a hard time giving up. But
Yeah.
we've done our jobs. This auction, how it timed out. So 2 clubs by East said that they had a 1-suited hand. We passed, and West had to bid 2 diamonds to find out what the suit was.
Yep.
Now partner bid 2 spades, which is a really strange bid. It stands out to me. We transfer to majors whenever we have at least 5.
Yep.
It doesn't matter whether we have a 0-point hand or a 10-point hand or a 20-point hand. We always transfer to our majors.
Let's take one moment. Make that a rule, folks. What he just said is the most important thing. No matter how bad you are, even if you only have 5, your hand is worth more playing in the majors. So you always transfer with a bad hand and 5 of a major. Sorry, Gavin.
No, I mean, it's very true. Like, it doesn't matter with a 0-point hand. The worse your hand is, the more likely it's right to play in spades.
Bingo.
So what the rest of this thought is, well, what's going on here? Partner didn't transfer. Now they're bidding a 4-card suit. Usually, I don't know what the robot's doing, but usually the expert way to play this bid, or I don't know, advanced, this is something you just kind of have to learn. I don't want to, it's not too hard for anybody, that once you haven't transferred, that when you come back in and bid a major, you can't have 5.
Right.
So you're not suddenly saying, hey, partner, I forgot to transfer. That's one of the things about all bidding system, is that once you've denied something, you never have a way to show it after that. You never have a way to catch up for not showing your hand the first time. You're always continuing your story. So in this case, partner should be saying that they have 4 spades, but it would be really weird for them to just be bidding 2 spades because they have 4 spades. They might have no idea what if I have only 2 spades. It's a really weird thing to do. So usually this bid would mean I have 4 spades and I have another place to back up.
2 places. So we would bid 3 clubs here for pass or correct if we didn't like spades. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I would, exactly. And that's a good question, Frizz, about even with 4 cards in the other major. If you have 4 cards in the other major to go with your 5 spades, sorry, sorry for my hesitation looking at the Clara's hand. That is unbelievable.
The robot just went all sorts of weird.
If you have 5-4 in the majors, you're always bidding over 1 no trump. You're never going to pass 1 no trump of 5-4 in the majors. You'd either start with Stamen and use garbage Stamen, or you would transfer. But you would never pass 1 no trump. So you can't have a 5-card major when you pass 1 no trump. That's the most important thing.
Yep, big time. And the robot is just being
lost its
all
mind
sorts of weird here. 4 triple 3 offering up spades, the 2-level vulnerable.
Let's just stop. Do we know their suit yet? We don't really
know.
No,
we saw 2 clubs, 2 diamonds, and honestly, from our perspective, it could be anything at this point.
Well, yeah, we have the same number of cards in every suit, so
right.
It looks bad if it's hearts or clubs, because if it's hearts or clubs, then one of our tricks is going away.
Yeah, big deal.
But that's where it probably is. It's probably going to go ace of clubs, queen of clubs, club rough, or heart rough. No, yeah. So maybe not. That was a weird play. The 5 of hearts.
No, whatever.
All right. Stop, Rob.
I'm just
all right.
take a deep breath. See, you're tilting. You are tilting right now.
I'm afraid.
I haven't clicked.
Okay, okay, but you can
Don't
mouse
make, don't
fast, and
let
then
Nikki be right. I'm not passing the mousing ability over to you.
okay, okay.
All right.
Well,
So
then you're gonna have to deal with me being like afraid that you're
freaking
about to
out.
play a card, you know?
We're never playing bridge together, by the way. I can't handle
Okay.
this.
So at this point, this spade suit is weird. We're missing the jack and the 10. Um, we're going to try and play it for only one loser. There's only one way we can really avoid a second spade loser, and that's by figuring out who has the ace of spades and playing through them. And then after we win our king or queen, then playing a small one out and hoping the ace pops out. Uh, so the way we would do that here is we would try and figure out who might be more likely to have the ace of spades. It's probably the guy who bid, but they're in the balancing chair.
Well, and
So they
also
may.
think of what we've seen already. We've seen West show up with the ace of hearts, and we've seen East show up with the ace of clubs. So that's all we know at this point.
Yeah, so I think that East is the hand that has a single suited hand. So they actually rate to be the hand that's shorter in spades.
But
So
also,
I think
don't
that
they
that's
rate to
that.
be the hand that has the ace of spades also?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna my decision is to come to the king of diamonds
Yeah.
and lead towards the king of spades.
Okay.
Okay, we got that
That's a
part
win.
right.
Well, now we hope they just break. Uh, the West is thinking here. Let's see. All right, Queen of Clubs.
Yeah, king.
No choice, and there it is. Yeah, that was not unexpected.
Yeah, we couldn't do anything to avoid that, and we still have one more loser here. Or two.
Ah,
Man, enough losers. This is a bad result that we didn't
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
All
for
we did
sure.
on this hand was we opened one on Trump.
All right.
I mean, so this was just a dealt bad board, and that's going to happen to you. It's a fix or whatever you want to call it.
Well, the robot certainly. The good thing is that these are hands I never worry about. By the way, on at least in these instant tournaments, because no one is going to do anything differently on this last hand, right? We're all going to open a no trump with this hand, and it's going to go past two clubs, and then the robot's going to make a weird bid. And it's important to kind of have that in your head when you're playing it. Is this a normal contract? And the answer here is for sure. So do the best you can, even if it's terrible. Do the best you can, and then go from there. Okay, so this is the last hand that's going to decide whether we can get above 40%, Gavin. We're currently above the 40% threshold. These two professional,
Yeah,
these
yeah, and
top
actually,
pros.
I think can we still get back to average? I guess we
I think
can, right?
so. Yeah, we could certainly get back to average if we
So
get a really good one. All
simple
right,
response.
so yeah,
Response.
up the line, one heart. Partner bids two clubs. This is interesting. We can go a couple different ways here. Which would you prefer?
I see that I have 14 points. My partner didn't have enough to jump shift. Partner's got diamonds and clubs. I don't see any real reason to get involved in like there. Yes, there's an obscure chance that partner could be like 1-4-4-4. No, sorry.
No, he would have
Didn't
bid
bid
a
a
spade.
spade. Sorry, I thought I bid a spade. Yeah.
No,
Partner doesn't have his heart fit, doesn't have a spade fit. There's nothing really to this. I just want to play 3 neutral.
bingo. And this is the key. If you had extra values, or you had maybe more of one of the majors, like a fifth heart in this hand, you would bid fourth suit forcing. Here, we kind of know where we're going to be, and we also know, just as a sidebar, this is a best hand tournament, right? So no one's going to have more points than us. Interesting
Okay.
dummy here.
Yeah, well, dummy's good. We have two conflicting things going on here. One is where is our source of tricks going to come from? We know we're going to get all of our aces and kings. We're going to get our 2 clubs and our 3 spades and our ace king of hearts. The question is, where should we try to attack for more tricks? And the standout suit to me here is diamonds. I know people might look at that heart suit and say, hey, I could finesse that heart and get an extra heart trick. But the thing about this diamond suit is we might be able to set up quite a few of those diamonds.
Yeah, and what you're saying is super important. You're weighing the benefit of each suit. So when we talk about hearts, we're getting usually at most one more heart trick, maybe 2 in with some weird distributions. But look at that diamond suit. Even though we have no tricks in it so far, that suit rates to produce certainly more than 1 extra trick, and maybe many more than that. And that's what we're kind of doing to weigh our options here. So what do you think? Win the spade and plunk down the 10 of diamonds, Gavin?
Yeah, so coming to this diamond suit, there's a couple ways that we can play the diamond suit. We might just play up to the king, but because we have the 10 and the 9 and the 8, it's looking like it might be better. It's certainly going to be right, at least the first time, to run the 10, because if West has the queen jack of diamonds, we're going to be able to if we play up to the king, then we're going to lose with ace, the queen, and the jack.
Sure.
So there's no real risk. There's no timing problem on this hand. So I'm going to always start by running the 10 of diamonds.
Okay, and that's not a bad thing what just happened, folks. Just because it lost to the jack doesn't mean anything bad happened for our side. Now we get here, we still have the entries in dummy. We're going to do this again. And now we get to play low, and now we'll see how we're doing afterwards here.
Right, now we have to decide what to discard from dummy, and now we see spades are 5-0 or 5 whatever. I say 5 just because.
Yeah, he had 5 spades.
He followed to 2. And dummy had 2, and I had 4. So I'm not doing, just for people to learn. Like I'm not counting every card that comes out. But here at the
don't try to do that.
at the point of this trick where I see the East has no spades, I remember what my spades were to start. I started with ace, king, queen, 4th. So I know that this is the 3rd time that somebody played spades. So I remember I had 4 and dummy had 2, and now I'm able to kind of go back and figure it out because I see that East also had 2. I'm able to count that West has.
Yeah, very important. I'm so glad you said that. This is something a lot of people miss because they're like, I'm never going to be able to count a bridge hand. You're not looking for that. And you're also not necessarily doing it right at the moment, but the moment you get useful information, which happened as soon as East played a heart here, that was the moment you got the count of this hand. Now we knew they started with 2. And if we remember dummy started with 2, we have it, right? So don't take your time when this happens. When you get new information, you should have a count on the suit that just kind of revealed itself.
Yeah, so now we're going to cross the dummy. The diamonds aren't necessarily good. They might be good, but they're not necessarily good.
Right.
This is what's going to happen. So if West has both of the remaining, there's 2 diamonds outstanding, the queen and the little one. Okay, if they're breaking evenly, we're just going to be left in a spot where we kind of have to guess whether to take the heart finesse at the end. And I'm just envisioning, I try to like picture the cards out of the way. So if the diamonds are good, all my diamonds are going to be gone. My ace, king, and clubs will be gone. And I'm going to be left with 3 cards in the hand, the king, double 10 of hearts, and a little club and dummy. And I'll have the ace, jack, 3rd of hearts in my hand. And I'll have to decide at that point, do I want to risk the heart finesse? But if diamonds break badly, if West has
especially with West having the length in diamonds,
if West has the length, we can't even afford to set up our last diamond because they're going to get in and they've got those spades.
They have the spades, yeah.
But if East has the diamonds, then I'm going to be able to play king of diamonds and give them their diamond. They're not going to have a spade to get over to their partner, and I'm going to be able to get that diamond. So, but I'm going to plan ahead. What I don't want to have happen is if I play a heart now to the king, and then I play king of diamonds and a diamond, and East wins it. Now East is going to be able to play a heart back right away and put me in my decision about the heart. And there's no reason for myself to expose myself to that decision this early. So I'm going to cross in clubs. I'm deciding whether to cross to dummy in clubs or hearts. So I'm just thinking about what might go wrong. So I'm going to start with the king of diamonds, and I'm going to throw a club from my hand.
Hey,
okay, they broke. So now we're back to the decision. So the 9 of diamonds.
We'll pitch a heart probably. We don't necessarily pitch a spade, even though we know
we're going to eventually pitch the spade.
Yeah, for sure. But and we're probably going to do that now. Okay,
they pitched both of their
lefty
spades.
pitched both of their spades, so they're guarding something. We're not sure necessarily.
Yeah,
what that
I mean,
is.
I would just play the king of clubs and see if the clubs. What the club situation is. So it looks like West has kept queen 3rd of hearts. That would be my best guess. But I would play heart. I would not finesse it.
Okay, good.
They just saw that we were going to take.
All right, wait, drum roll. All right, we're at 42.3%.
Oh, we're going up.
We are now going to execute this contract, and we are going to see how we ended up.
Oh, not enough. All right.
Not quite. Below 50, guys. What a great tournament by these 2 fine players here for your viewing pleasure. Below 50%.
You know what? At least you see that what's possible. That
well, you can also see that no matter how much thought you put in and how well you do, you can just be honestly a slave to the scoring, right? So here, I don't think we did anything differently than we normally would do. It just didn't score well for us, unfortunately. And that is match points, folks.
Kill the screen share for a second there, Rob.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is our whole. This is a standard thing that would happen in match points. You're going to play every board. You sometimes like a couple things that happened in today's session where we bid aggressively. There were a couple times we upgraded our hands and got to games. And when you bid aggressively and you catch a bad break, like that one hand that Queen of Hearts was offside and the trumps were 4-1. So that's you're gonna not get great results. That's why you don't want to be recklessly aggressive. We're only doing it because we really felt like we were right on the cusp. We weren't upgrading 16 counts to show 19 counts. We were right on an 18 count that we decided to go up to 19. And the other hand that we got very aggressive on was the hand that we jump shifted and we raised to 5 hearts, which you might not have done in real life. I even we bought a bad hand in partner's hand and we bought a bad break, and that left us with a bad result. So sometimes you're going to have days where you're just not hitting home runs. You're not doing the right thing. But as long as you're doing normal things and keeping yourself within the realm of reasonable, you're going to do well over time. Bridge is not a short-term game. There's a lot of variance. You're going to see good things and bad
And
things.
I just have to thank Mark and Penny for the super chats. Appreciate that. Just pop in a super chat if you want. Also, just want to remind you guys of the stuff that's coming up for us. If you go to learnbridge.nyc, you will see all the classes I and Gavin have coming up over the next several weeks. So we have Wednesday afternoon with me, that's today, no Trump Slam auctions, and then a fun Slam quiz. Thursday morning is Bergen Raises and some no Trump auctions. And then Gavin and I have a couple of really cool things coming up. The Monday night class has been great. That's going to confine itself to card play for the next couple of weeks at least. And then we're going to do modern bidding Sundays at 1 p.m. We're trying out a bunch of different times. So we're doing kind of short runs of classes to see what works and what times draw the biggest crowds. And when you guys have a weekend available, Sundays at 1, really interesting bidding series coming up starting Sunday the 12th.
And
And
I
there
just want
you
to say
are,
that
Gavin,
the,
live with the Wolperts.
the feedback that people give has been amazing.
Thank you. Yes.
It's super energizing to have as many people be interested in what we have to say. And after one of our lessons last week, Rob and I were talking on the phone. It's really exciting to see that how many people are interested in getting better at bridge and interested in hearing us talk. And the more success we have, the more people that show up to our lessons, the more we're going to be investing our time into new ideas and new ways to teach people. So the more you can spread the word about our lessons and the more you support our lessons, it's just going to turn into more interesting and fun stuff and fun things happening. And
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree more. And anytime Gavin and I get to talk on the phone, it is a long and exciting conversation because both of us are it's like meeting a brother from another mother. We both love to teach bridge and we also have a lot to say about a lot of different stuff.
yeah,
So we really enjoy this format and honestly both of us think when we get back to normal, whenever that might be, we still think that this is a superior way to learn the game, even though obviously the social aspect is a little less. We're trying to kind of come up with ways to make it a little more engaging. But honestly, this is an amazing way to learn because it's more efficient and you guys get to kind of have more to look at while we're conducting these classes. Oh, the link to Gavin's Learn Bridge play
yeah. I
site.
don't
Do
I
you
don't
have
have
that?
I don't have my own. I'm piggybacking off of Rob. I mean, I have a link to my class on Friday, which I guess I can drop right here.
And
But
also the I have a site that I'm kind of trying to get built also along the side, but eventually, hopefully, we'll all have kind of one site where you can go to and see all of us. But for now, learnbridge.nyc will get you to Gavin's and my stuff basically at this point.
also, please spread the word. It's amazing what I've seen is one person emails everybody they know and 5 of their friends start coming to our lessons. So just please share out the website and the lessons. And I totally agree, by the way, Judy, about the format on YouTube being better. The problem is it doesn't really lend itself to us charging an admission fee, which is what's keeping us doing this. And
Right, right. We're
if
we're
YouTube had a way that we could lock the videos behind a paywall, we would use YouTube. This is clearly the best format
yeah,
without
it's fantastic.
uh, so we're kind of stuck with Zoom and or GoToWebinar as sites that allow us to use them for that reason.
Yeah, again, but we're continuing to work on everything, and folks, the super chats make it very helpful for us to be
Yeah.
able to continue on YouTube, even though we're keeping this session for sure. And also, folks, I hadn't scheduled my second live lesson on YouTube this week because I'm just not sure when it's going to be. But stay on the lookout for that. Keep going to learnbridge.nyc, and you'll have all the information about when our stuff is coming up for sure.
Thank you so much to everybody that have dropped that money into Super Chat. It really means a lot. Whatever you're giving, it's motivating to know that you like this enough that it was worth just dropping a few bucks in there. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much,
Yeah.
every single one of you. Thanks, and
And
thanks for the comments.
I will see some of you at 3:30 today, some of you at 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then don't forget our Monday night class, the Rob and Gavin experience. We're doing lots of card play,
Yeah,
which honestly, card play is the best in this format for sure because we can do it in a way where you can see all the hands and you're not necessarily engaged in anything else but looking at the actual problem at hand. And honestly, to be going through card play with you, Gavin, is just going to be a whole lot of fun. So I'm really
yeah.
looking forward to that.
It's hard. One thing about card play is that so many things can happen over the course of a hand. And like, you can make a plan, and you can make a plan as much as you can make a plan. Things change, and so it's very hard. It's a hard topic to talk about. It's a little easier to break down into individual suits. Like when we were talking about that last hand, that 10 double 10 of diamonds opposite the king 9 8 fifth. Once we're just talking about a suit, it's a little easier to go through it. But when you have this whole hand that you're trying to work on, you have your general rules, but it's where like when we said that hand that we had ace king jack 9 of hearts opposite 10 fourth, I said that what we would like to do is to play the ace first to see if that singleton queen will drop.
Yep.
Those little things, that's really useful. You're gonna save over time. I don't know how often it's singleton queen, but just taking care to not take a first round finesse in a suit. It's those little things that add up over time. And so when we get to talk about these things in these lessons, it's a great format.
Yeah,
for
and
that.
it's an effort to honestly build good card mechanics into all of you, right? Because these situations don't come up occasionally, right? These situations come up very frequently, especially the normal ones. The more of those that you just have solved, the more thinking you can do on the more complicated issues that might pop up, and then your game just explodes, right? It's
Yeah, the play in general is pretty overwhelming. There's just so much information, and you don't really know where to start. That when we get to break these suits down into individual suits, it really helps you understand that it's not as overwhelming as possible. Once you're comfortable with playing suits and what the plan is, knowing you need to draw trumps, that no matter how uncomfortable it feels, drawing trumps has to happen. That you're at some stage of almost every single trump contract. And knowing that maybe we don't need to do it right away, but you know the general rules, and learning these general rules, that we can become less overwhelmed by all of our options on playing hands. And
yeah,
that's
for sure.
really, in bidding, usually we only have 2 or 3 options to choose from. In the play, we have
Infinite.
there's so many directions
Yeah.
to go. There's entries that you need to take care of, and there's which suits do we play first,
And then there's the opponent's choices that change your decision-making matrix. It's just it's huge. It's a bottomless pit. We could do declare play pretty much in perpetuity because there's so much that we can cover on different spots. All right, guys. I think that's it for us today. I have to prep for my 3:30 class, Gavin. I think you're playing today, so good luck with that.
Yep.
And
Thank you.
I will see some of you this afternoon. I'll see some of you tomorrow, and you will all see Gavin and I on Monday night.
Monday, it seems so far away, Rob.
I
This is
know we need to chop in another one. Well,
yeah.
we'll have Sundays and Mondays going forward, but honestly, I want to do some sort of big event at some point also if we're going to be stuck in these. So we're talking about that, not just with Gavin and I, but with other pros as well. And if we can schedule something for maybe a weekend or like a Friday night, that could be a lot of fun for all of you and for all of us. So we'll be in touch and stay tuned.
Definitely. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Gavin. And folks, take care. We'll see you at the virtual tables out there.